Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to have our next guest here. She started a software company at the age of 19 in 1985. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
I can't imagine. What were you doing at the age of 19?
Not bad.
Right. Okay, she has been also a pioneer on the internet since 1994 and is a 7-time #1 international best-selling author who has spoken in over 39 countries. I'm so impressed. She's also a trusted TV source for not only ABC but NBC, CBS, Fox, and has garnered awards from the Senate Assembly, President Obama, and the White House. Join me in welcoming Tracy Repchuk.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy.
Here. Thanks.
I'm so happy to have you.
Oh, thank you. I love stuff like this. Girl chat.
Yeah, girl chat. I know, right? Well, tell us more about yourself. We know a little background, but tell us more about you personally. What you do and everything.
Yeah, really what I'm about is empowering women to really fulfill their vision, their mission, their purpose, and their goals.
Okay.
And I like to do that through helping them get towards the right tools, products, services to get their message online so they can reach millions.
Okay.
That way they can become the thought leader and kind of really help to shape the way that the world is going.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Well, tell me some of your some of your successes. I've talked about some general things about how you basically, again, you've spoken in so many countries, 39 countries, and on how you are like a spokesman for all these different TV shows and the White House, and I'm just so impressed with your, with your accomplishments. And
well, thank you. I mean, really, the speaking around the world is that is the dream scenario, and it wasn't just because of the impact I was making. I've actually penetrated 4 major kind of male-dominated industries.
Okay.
And in that speaking scenario was one of the situations in which I was on what was called the World Internet Summit stages with 15 men and myself. So I was the first woman to win New Internet Marketing Success of the Year and the first woman to kind of appear on that circuit. And so for 5 years, I really traveled around. And then after I started to go on my own as I was really now focused not on the business world, but on women empowerment.
Oh, wow.
And so I started to speak at the Africa Trade Summit, the global crowdfunding, the Global Leaders Economic Summit in China. I spoke in Kuwait and Dubai, opening up women's centers. And so it's really become this strategy that I'm employing now on helping to make sure that, women and their voices are heard.
oh my God, that's great.
I'm impressed with the whole thing of empowering women, especially young women.
Yes.
What are some of the ways that you engage the younger women?
Well, I've been engaging younger women like since the dawn of the time, because especially since when I had 2 girls of my own.
Okay.
So I'll never forget when I was doing my own events, and it was called the Dreams to Reality Success Summit. And one of my daughters at the back, 12 years old, 4-day event that I was holding. And at the end of that time, she says, "Mom, I know what I want to do." And I said, "Great, what is it?" And she says, "I'm going to start my own business. And I'm going to sell products on eBay."
Oh my God.
And I was like, okay, that's fantastic. So at the age of 12, I didn't say to her, yes, when you grow up, you're going to be able to do that. I was like, great. So here's what we need to do. You're going to have a mentor. And I purchased a mentor for her.
Oh, wow.
And she did the program with that person. And she started to make money at the age of 12.
That is awesome.
Yeah, and same with my other daughter. She wanted to do her thing as well. She was a model. My son started acting at the age of 6. So all 3 of my kids, we've really treated them just, anything that they had a dream of, we never stopped, no matter what their situation was. I mean, we moved from Canada to the U.S. really for my son, because it's all about giving the next generation the most opportunities we can.
And the tools to accomplish that.
Exactly.
Wow. So how long you been in the States? I didn't know you were from
11
Canada.
years. 11 years.
That's
awesome.
amazing.
That's awesome.
Originally from Toronto, Canada.
Wow.
Toronto's
So
a
was-
beautiful city.
I
Yeah.
love Canada. It's just a little cold there. I'm liking this.
A little.
So you came here for his acting career?
Yeah, that was
Okay.
part of the major impetus that moved us. And then, of course, it just opened up everything. The other thing was internet marketing back in 2006 was really quiet in Canada. Nobody was really doing online.
2006?
Yes, they were extremely reserved and conservative for purchasing,
Okay.
and everything was happening down in the U.S. And I was constantly at that time flying back and forth
Wow.
to seminars. There were none up there.
Okay.
And so at that point too, it became, you know what? If I really want to do this and make my mark, I'm going to have to let's just do it. And so we went all in.
That
That's
so
awesome.
Cool. That's so cool.
Awesome.
So tell me back the days, because I understand you started internet in 1994.
Yeah.
Tell me what that was like, and how did you find yourself, doing
that
something
field?
like that? Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah, so I mean, I graduated as a computer programmer. I am a tech nerd, right? And then I started the software company, and then I had to combine technology and marketing, or else the company didn't survive, right? So that kind of started that kind of that wave. Then in 1992, I started to hear the chatter about something called World Wide Web. And I went to a store in Toronto. It was called the World's Biggest Bookstore. And I came out of there with $1,000 worth of books. And there was programming languages and the World Wide Web and the highway and the this and the. We're coming out as like a train. We were leaving, a truckload we were leaving with.
Wow.
And I said, whatever this is the next wave.
Right.
We scoured through everything,
so
and then
right.
we started to establish our communication, our marketing based on we can do this, 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 and this. And we actually got picked up by the government, Walmart, JCPenney, the Lottery Corporation. We were doing stuff online for major companies. Banks started to contract us.
Oh, awesome.
And so we were on the internet before it was even the internet. And then we started, it was 2000, I started to do web development and design back in about 1998. And then I didn't start using it as a marketing tool really until about 2006. Back then it was almost brochure. Here you are, there's your site, yay, you exist.
Yes.
Right.
Then in 2006 it was like, let's get it going, let's get that building of the list. Let's really start to pump out and leverage the distribution of networks now that was available to us at that time, because the yellow pages were starting to die. So that was a huge issue to everybody, including ourselves. We really had to now tap into different marketplaces.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Awesome.
I mean, that's so cool to know that you were like one of the pioneers.
Yeah, that you were part of that beginning of it.
I was.
Of what we love to do today.
Correct.
The
I mean,
internet.
when I started, I was on bubble cards on mainframes as a programmer. And then we went to the languages, and then we went to desktops. The dream of there's going to be a desktop, I was part of that unfolding, right?
I remember the first
the
desktop.
Steve Jobs versus my first computer in the company cost $25,000 and the printer was $8,000. So that was barrier to entry, right? And then when I came on, there was no social media. So people, like when my first book went to #1 on Amazon, there was no social media platform to do that with. That was good old-fashioned list building, and that's why I'm so passionate about landing page list building. Because without it, you still don't have a foundation to which to penetrate the marketplace and really connect and nurture your prospects.
When you say list building, are you just talking about a list of whom?
Okay, so if we think about back to the old days, right, when we were flipping our Rolodex, right? There's our prospect. I met him at such and such. Here's a little business card, right? Now that we have the technology called landing page that actually began around the 2006 era when I started. It was the very first motion into true marketing and database list building that was pull versus push.
I see.
And so now, like, only about 10% of the companies are leveraging landing page technology.
10%?
It really needs to be way more than that, because that is where your true power to your company and the true online growth that you're going to have comes from.
Okay.
Oh,
Wow. So wow.
So since your goal and your passion is to empower women, especially young women,
Yes.
What resources are you using right now for young women and maybe some young men?
So when it comes to like resources, I will use the main thing I teach is the branding and the list building through landing page. So I develop and create those for new companies, new launches, speakers, authors, etc. Where a lot of the power for the millennials, the Gen Zs are coming from is actually the social media platforms.
Right.
They're doing list building in pockets where we are as well for influence, right?
Okay.
Here's the piece that they're missing though. They're leaving all of that field of people on a social media platform. Here's why that's an error. You don't own that platform. If LinkedIn,
Right.
Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram,
Twitter
all says, I don't like you anymore.
true.
Boom. Gone.
That's
So if we don't move that tribe that we're nurturing over here into our own database that we control the communication of, we're able to really nurture our prospect. We're able to serve the client. See, when I talk about reaching millions of people, right, you can't do that like this. And we can't do that by one-way talking on a social media line. We need to bring them in.
Yeah.
We need to educate them through email drip campaigns that say, hey, here's what I do, here's something else, what about this, la la la, until eventually they're like, oh, I need that, right? Because we used to do that by 7 to 12 touch points on the phone.
Yeah.
We don't have that time,
That's
and
true.
we especially don't have it if we want to impact millions.
Right. That's
So
right.
this is the mechanism that's allowing us to really be able to increase our income without increasing our time.
Okay,
Wow,
got
that
it.
is
Wow,
so
that's amazing.
awesome.
Well, tell me, I know you have a book that you wrote that really is empowering and is helping a lot of people, you know, learn some of the techniques. So do you have it to share?
I do.
And tell us about it and how can this book help other people?
Okay, so this was the very first book I wrote, 31 Days to Millionaire Marketing Miracles.
Okay.
So this is the A to Z of online marketing. That's what it was when it launched back in 2006 and went to #1, stayed on #1 of Amazon, the top 3% of Amazon for 4 years. Wiley
4
Publishing,
years.
which is North America's largest publisher, then approached me and said, hey, I want in on that.
Okay.
And so they bought the rights to the books and we relaunched. And so it went #1 in the US, UK, and Canada all in the same day.
Wow.
And that caused another growth explosion for myself. And again, though, if we go back to why I love the landing page technology, right? When I first launched this book, no social media. The only thing I had was this list I was building over here. And when I went to those guys and said, hey, can you buy my book? That's how I got to #1 on Amazon. And I've never dropped this because it was a success point.
Wow.
That's awesome.
So I know you wrote this like years ago. I just want to make sure our audience get a chance to see it. So a lot of the principles and things that are in here now still apply today, right?
Yes. What I did in this book was talk about the step-by-step principles of what you need to apply. So I don't go deep into how do you use how do you use Facebook, how do you use Snapchat, etc., right? Because those are too fluid, you know, like I say, like, you know, Blab and Periscope and a lot of these technologies that we had are gone. So instead I talk about overall concepts so that you know the steps to take in sequence and then you research deeper. I have actually products for every single piece you need to research deeper on that they're online digital so that they can remain fluid enough that the book can't handle.
Because things are changing all the
Oh,
time.
it's a raging river all the time.
All the time.
So, question: how did you become a spokesperson for all these different, you know, TV stations and all that? So, Who did someone reach out to you, and was it regarding the book, or what was that all about?
So the book was a door opener,
Okay,
right? So
okay.
they didn't say, "Hey, I saw you had this book. Come on, right?"
Okay.
What it was I had a message that I wanted to get out. So I started to approach the TV networks, and I was actually going on talking about social media safety for kids.
Got it.
That's why that was my message. It wasn't about, "Hey, me," right?
Okay.
And so during that time, kids were all coming on. Bullying, cyberbullying, all of this stalking was on the rise. Kids were getting, stalked, and there was deaths that had occurred. And so I was like, I got to get out there, and I got to tell parents, how do you track what's happening on social media with your children?
Yes.
Okay.
And so that was the message that I was going, and that's how I started to get pulled in.
Right, because
got
I
it.
remember when MySpace came out and my son asked me, it was a big fat N-O no.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? Same here because my kids were after the MySpace era, but they were, of course, smack dab in Facebook and all of the Twitters and things of that nature, and Vine, right?
Yeah.
And so I said no to certain ones, right? But here's the thing, they were doing it anyway.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening.
Wow.
They were
Okay.
doing it anyway. They were saying they were 18 years old when they logged in.
Wow.
And so what I said to parents is set up a Google alert on your kid's name. If they use their name in anything, it's gonna come back.
Alert
So
you.
cool.
That's
Oh my
smart.
God, Tracy. Oh, there's so much we still want to talk about. Whew, we have to have you back.
Okay, sounds good.
This has been so interesting, so fun. So if you guys want Tracy back, please, go to the chat LA and please make a comment. There's so much more. And if someone wants to, work with you, because I know you've got workshops and things like that. If they want to work with you, can you work with anyone across the globe? So
I
they just-
do.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not just about women, right? I have a lot of male clients.
Yeah.
Really, if you want to get in touch with me, there's two best ways. Just type my name on the internet or any social media platform.
Okay.
But more importantly, if you want a free gift from me, if you go to fastactionresults.com, fastactionresults.com.
Okay.
You're going to get a free gift from me, and that is going to help you to double your income in 3 simple steps.
Really?
Yes.
We're going to do that.
Go get it.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, Miss Veronica, what do you have for us today?
Just a thought,
a
all
thought.
the stuff that's going on right now.
Yeah.
Just think about it. Give yourself enough respect to walk away from someone who doesn't see your worth.
Amen. Amen.
We have to do
Love
that
it.
for ourselves.
Yes.
And ladies,
Oh my God, that's
That's
a
a
wrap.
wrap.
Thank you for joining the Chat LA.